Alright guys, here is question 6. Let's go through the question. The graph of f of x is equals to a sin x plus q. H of x is equal to p cos x and g of x is equal to tan x. And these graphs are drawn on this 0 to 360 axis and are drawn below. Alright, so we can already see this one is tan. And then this one is f of x, which is the sine graph, and then this one is h of x, which is the cos graph. Okay, so now guys, here I normally tell my nailers, please make sure that you know the standard graph. Okay, what do I mean by this? I mean that you must know exactly where is the graph of sine x touching the graph of cos x touching, and also where is the graph of tan x touching. If it helps you, please cram these ones. All right, and then should anything happen, any shift, any movement, you will just have to know that, okay, this is basically what happened. For an example, let's do this one. Question 1, 6.1. They are saying determine the values of a, p, q. So what do you do in this case? Here is the graph of f of x, and then a and q, they are there. So what do they mean by this is that under normal circumstances, this graph, the one you're looking at here, this is the one for sine, is going there, is going up, all the way. Ne? So now under normal circumstances, this graph will be touching here. This graph was going to be passing here. It's going to be passing here. Then it comes here. I think, yeah, it was going to be touching here. And then it goes. Excuse me. Okay, there you go. Yeah, this graph was going to be touching here. And then remember, sine x is equals to 1. Then it goes, it becomes 0, then it goes all the way again. So now if you have a look at this graph, what just happened here, did I do it right? Okay, somebody please check for me here. I think I'm not doing it right. Yes, I'm not doing it right. It's the other way around. No. All right. Okay, yeah, I can tell that I'm doing it wrong. Sine x is equals to 1, not negative 1. Okay, so now it would look basically something like that. Sine is equals to 1, then a sine is 0, then it goes 270 is equals to 1, then it goes there. So basically it's almost the same graph as the one here on top, but as you can see, the only difference is that this graph was flipped upside down. So the only thing that can do that is if here it's negative, right? So that tells us that a is equals to negative 1, because this graph here is the same, but however it has been shifted, it has been flipped upside down and then shifted upwards by 2 units. If yes, shifted upwards by 2 units. So now you come here and you look at it. There it is, the original one. Compared to this one, you can see that from here where it's supposed to be 0, now it's 2. So this means that it moved from here, shifted upwards by 2 units, because initially original graph was supposed to be 0 here, but now it's 2. So that just tells us that this graph was shifted upwards or downwards by, which in this case it is up, it was shifted by 2 units. So therefore our q, it's equal to 2. Okay, so now similarly, let's have a look at the one for cos. They are asking us for this p here. So the other way of doing this, guys, you have to look at the amplitude of the graph, ne? The amplitude of the graph from here to there. On the original graph is supposed to be 1, but on this one is 2. So now if it's 2, it simply means the coefficient, or this number that is supposed to be here next to cos, which in this case is p, it has to be equal to 2. Okay, same thing would apply if you were to find let me see. Yeah, same thing would apply if you were to find the one for sine, for the one for f of x. Let me remove this red one because it's kind of confusing me now. All right, same thing would apply, guys. If you know the basics here, you shouldn't have any hassle. Same thing would apply here, because remember the sine graph was just going here. Okay, so now in this case the sine graph is just here, so it means basically your line is sitting somewhere here. This means now the x-axis line is sitting somewhere here. So what is your amplitude? Your amplitude here is what? It's 1. So same thing would apply if it's 1, but you just have to check that is it 1, the positive or the negative 1. However, if for an example, let's say you couldn't find the value of for the value of q, this one, if you don't understand what I'm saying, so you can also calculate it, guys. Remember now, your f of x is given by a, which we found that is -1 sine x plus q. So you can come on your graph of f of x and substitute any value. So if you were to come here on this point here, you would see that is x is equals to 90, and then y is what? The coordinates here is what? 90 is to 1. So now it means y is 1 sine 90. We know sine 90 is also 1 plus q. So you will have 1 is equals to minus sine 90 is 1 plus q. So therefore you take q to the other side, is going to be 1 plus 1, which is equal to q. Sorry, 1 plus 1, which is equals to q, and it's going to give us 2. You can calculate it like that, guys. Right, so now let's move right along. 6.2, for which values of x is h of x less than 0? Okay, now let me remove all these things so that they don't confuse us. All right, we've already used them. So what are they asking us? Where is this h of x? Is this one is the cos graph. They are just asking us where is this graph less than 0. So now if you understand what this means, it means where is this graph in layman's language, where is this graph below x-axis? That is basically what they are asking you. X-axis. Don't be confused, guys. So if they said greater, it simply means where is this graph greater than x-axis. All right, so if you look at cos graph here, it starts here, it goes all the way when on this part it's above, so immediately when it touches here it becomes below the x-axis up until when? Up until 270 here, then from there it goes above. So it means as we are looking for this region right here. Simple like that. If you understand what it means in terms of the explaining it and the way you understand the language, it simply means where is the graph of x less than the x-axis, below the x-axis. Okay, so you can simply come here and say, okay, no, when x is greater than 90 but also less than 270, that should be our answer, né? So it's in between. So we're going to say when x is greater or equal to 90 degrees but x is also less or equal to 270. Okay, and that's how you would deal with this one. So let's move on. 6.3 says determine the values of x for which f of x is equal to h of x. So we are looking for the values where these two graphs are equal. So it means what? They are touching each other in this case. So where there is h of x and then there is also f of x there, they are touching each other right there. Okay, so now also where the let's see, they're also touching each other. They're touching each other in 2 points, and also on this point right here they're also touching each other. Okay, and where else? Oh, actually there's 3 points. Wow, Okay, you see also here on this point here, they're touching each other. This point here, they're touching each other. This point there, they're touching each other. So what we have to do now, we just have to tell the person who's going to mark that when x is equal to 0, these two things are equal. And then when x is equal to 45, they are also equal. And then when x is equal to 360, they are also equal. You must give all of them, guys. If you give 2, you will get 2 marks. If you give 3, you will get 3 marks. So you must give all of them. Right. So that was just simple. We just have to look at where the two graphs are interacting, and then we give them the x values. All right, 6.4 says write down the range of f. Okay, the range of f is referring to the y values of the f of x. So let's come here and have a look at the y values where this graph is sitting. So here is f of x here. As you can see, the maximum value that this graph goes to is this one here, which is what? Y is equals to 3. And then also below it goes up until here, which gives us y is equals to 1. All right, so therefore it seems that simply means that our range has to be y, it has to be greater or equal to 1, and then but also it needs to be less or equal to 3. We can also say to them that where y is the element of all real numbers. Okay, and that's how you will deal with question 6. I am Gaston Mapala, passionate about mathematics, engineer by profession. Thank you very much for watching. Let me see you on the next upload where we'll be doing question 7.